Welcome back, ready for the fourth quarter. College football presented by Geico as we take a look at the scoring by quarters. And Utah State owned the second quarter. Wake Forest has found their offense since the third quarter. Chucky Keaton, a big part of the story too. He has not played here in the second half after coming up hobbled a bit late in that opening half. So let's see what Darrell Garrettson can do. And as we mentioned earlier, 6-1 last year as a starter for the Aggies. And the deficit down to 12. The Demon Deacons hanging around as Garrettson will roll out. He finds a receiver close to the first down as the tackle made by Zach Allen. We'll want to hurry up here and maybe try to get the snap off prior to a review. Even the chain gang a little bit late on the mark as this one up the middle given to Rashad Hall. And that'll go for about 2.5, 3 yards. Brandon Chubb has been in the middle of it all night for Wake Forest's defense, and he made the tackle there again.
Nice play here just to pick up this first. Well, you're seeing the replay of the last play. Really haven't seen them line up in two-back formation, but just tried to get a run off. That's probably what they did. They didn't want to see a replay, or a review, I should say.
2nd and 7 with the ball on the 33. Pass out in the flat, and it goes to JoJo Natson, and he gets a first down and a flag on the play as well. We'll see if this is a hold against Utah State. Happening around that right side. Thomas Brown knocking the ball carrier Natson out of play.
Natson kind of hobbling a little bit there after that run. Hope it's not something too serious because he has been very effective on the outside with his speed.
Number 76 offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, second down.
Jake Simonich with the hold. So this will bring it all the way back to the 26-yard line for 2nd and long. Utah State, just as they get it cranked up, penalties. And we've seen the other side too. Penalties have played a big role in Wake Forest drives here tonight. 20 yards now on 3 penalties for the Aggies. Sharp is in motion. Now Garrettson looks over the top, and that's picked off, or excuse me, incomplete. Markel Lee that time of the breakup. And that's 3 and out for the Aggies.
Yeah, it just looked like a predetermined throw there by Darrell Garrettson. Dropping back and
pardon me,
zoning in on one guy.
Yeah, and pardon me, it's 3rd and 14, so substitutions on both sides. And a huge third down here, if nothing more from a momentum standpoint with 13:38 to go. Garrettson looked terrific on that second series here in the second half. Let's see what he can do here. Goes over the top of an open receiver, but underthrew Damon Patterson. And so that'll bring up 4th and 14. Anthony Wooding with the breakup and a big stop for the Demon Deacons defense.
Yeah, Darrell Garrettson's got to be real careful on that play because if his receiver gets across the field, he's got to be very careful that that backside safety, number 26 in this particular situation, Thomas Brown, was waiting there for the ball.
That looks like Brandon Chubb. Will check on him when we come back in a 12-point ball game in the Rockies. Well, the sun's setting here this evening in Logan, Utah, and what a game we have. 36-24 Utah State, but the Demon Deacons defense prior to break holding and forcing a 4th down, which means Jaron Bentrud is back out to punt for Utah State. Let's go downstairs, Cassie.
Guys, an update on Antonio Ford. He had help getting off the field, and head doctor for Wake said it's probably a right sprained ankle. He also told me 2 years ago Ford broke his tibia during a game. It's his other leg, though, but he does have a big rod in it. Right now, Ford's on the table waiting to get taped up. They'll see how it goes. Not sure if he'll return.
Well, that would be a big loss as Jared Crump on the fair catch. Thanks, Cassie, as we'll see the Wake Forest offense come out now down by just 12, Eric, and a golden opportunity here and all sorts of time left in this shootout here in the Rockies.
Yeah, their offensive line has impressed me. The way that they've mixed the play calling up. They're taking their tight ends and putting them in the game. And remember, these are tight ends that are freshman tight ends. You know, Cam Serenier is a freshman. Devin Pike is a freshman. And they've got some youth on this team. And right now, the second half, they've been doing a pretty darn good job.
Wolford getting signals from the sideline. Looks like he's changing it up here. Ball on the 29. Wolford batted away. And deflected that time off the hands of Ricky Aliafua. You know, Wolford, you look at him, he's a freshman as we take another look here at this batted away pass. But, you know, they've gone tonight with a freshman quarterback, a freshman center, and a freshman running back in the backfield in Isaiah Robinson.
I think they're looking for playmakers. We talked to their coaching staff yesterday, and they said this is a team that's leadership's led by the coaches, not the players. And so, to me, they're looking for guys right now to come out and lead this team. What a great opportunity this is to drive down the field and become one of those leaders.
Aggies showing blitz. Wolford gets rid of it, and that incomplete in the left flat. Buliaga that time with a heat.
And I think what Wolford is saying right there, hey, you know, recognize blitz. I'm getting blitzed right here. You got to shorten your route up, and you know the receiver on the outside. Take a look at this right here. Blitz is coming. Shorten up your routes. That's why he's getting rid of the ball early. That's a receiver quarterback thing. Matt James out there just continued on his normal route like there wasn't a blitz. Need to shorten that up. That's what he's telling him.
Well, the receiver there needs to read off the quarterback, right?
Exactly. He needs to understand that the blitz is coming as well.
Wolford now to the sidelines, incomplete. Wake Forest sideline wanted a flag on the play. They won't get one, so it'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation here for the Deacons. Rashad Stewart breaking up that play.
Right, and another opportunity here for Utah State to get the ball back and try to get something established here in the second half.
JoJo Natson, the lone Aggie deep. On the punt from Alex Kittle. Nearly blocked, and Kittle gets it away. And JoJo Natson's going to let it roll. It takes a Utah State bounce. It'll be down at the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A Fan Cam. Great fans here at the Whiteout in Logan, Utah. Packed house here at Romney Stadium. And Merlin Olsen Field seen a lot of scoring here in the second half in a 12-point ball game.
We should bring those dudes up here. Those look pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah.
Put those on.
Like that. We're with our Blazers, right?
Put it right in.
Hand off JoJo Natson coming up the middle. Rip one here for about 4 or 5. Taken down by Josh Banks.
Yeah, we've seen what he brings to the table. JoJo Natson, you know, been able to get outside. Right here, he sees a crease in the middle and just takes it. One quick step and shoots right up the field.
Yeah, and they continue to develop their wide receiver core. JoJo Natson has been excellent tonight. Hunter Sharp, too. He's actually closing in on a record that is held since 1972. As you take a look at Ford heading off. And again, an end around, and this is going to be Hunter Sharp trying to break it. And he's into Wake Forest territory, and he's down to the 36-yard line. They're actually going to mark him out at the 38 as he's taken down by Ryan Jambian.
Again, just getting to the edges, beating them with speed. You see right here, it's just the end around, the old sweep action that they can't really stop right now, and they've really struggled with this all night. Looks like they got a little bit of face mask there at the end of that play.
Yeah, no call as Hunter Sharp rips it for 31 yards and inside Wake Forest territory. Well, if you convert here, if you're Utah State, you're really putting the pressure on a young Wake Forest offense. Back to passes Garrettson. He's got a man, but we're going to get him for pass interference. Wake Forest will be called, and that'll be a first down with yardage. Wyatt Houston a little too tight that time defensively.
And Ryan Janvian right here, number 22. He'll come into the picture. Looks like he got beat initially and then had to grab around the waist.
Holding number 22 defense on an eligible receiver. 10-yard penalty and automatic.
That was actually Janvian there. Sophomore linebacker out of Miami, Florida. So a first down on the ball inside the 30. And Utah State looking to counter and maybe put this one away as Daryl Garrettson now huddling the group.
Make mentioned Janvian too, a team captain, only a sophomore. So it tells you a little bit about the depth of this Wake Forest team. Not as deep as you'd like them to be.
Garrettson hands it off. And a gain of about maybe 2 there. I think I failed to mention that the quarterback Daryl Garrettson, his grandfather Daryl and his dad Rod. Yeah, that's right. If you recognize that Garrettson name, both his dad and his grandfather are officials in the NBA. His dad coaches high school football. Good sports bloodlines there in that family as Garrettson now faced with a 2nd and 7. In the flat, and that one unable to corral was Wyatt Houston, the tight end.
And all he's looking for right there is a little bit better ball from his quarterback Garrettson. Threw a little bit behind him. Maybe thought it was zone coverage, but it was man. So in that situation, put the ball out in front of him and let him run.
We got a 3rd and 7 here. The ball marked at the 25 with 4 wide for the Aggies. Handoff, JoJo Natson cuts it back up into the middle, and he's close to a first down. I think he's got it. I think he's got it by about a ½ yard on a great cutback inside.
Again, nice play calling right now by Kevin McGibbon again, just trying to get to the outside. You know, if they're not going to take it away, then we'll keep taking it. Pretty much their philosophy.
And JoJo Natson, that time of that run, gets the Aggies a first down, and they are driving. Ball inside the 20. Utah State trying to put this one, wrap it up. Wrapped up. Here's the running game of the Aggies. That one goes nowhere. Maybe a gain of 1 as Hunter Williams was leading the attack for the Demon Deacons.
We haven't been too successful there with that 2-back formation. Tight end off the ball. They've really been successful when they've spread this Wake Forest defense out.
And they've had
Get
good
to the
success.
edges.
Very good to the edges. They've had a lot of that success too in the red zone.
JoJo right here. He's in the slot.
Number 9, White. Big handoff, and that's held by Garrison, and he'll get it all the way down to the 7-yard line. Nice fake there by the sophomore quarterback.
I'll tell you what was interesting about that play is that JoJo Natson on that play, kind of a decoy, ran out to the outside like he might have got the ball again, but took those linebackers and cover backers with him, opened up that hole for the running lane for Garrettson.
2 in the backfield, fake handoff. Garrettson rolling wide, trying to get it back out of the, or a tight end actually in Jefferson Court, but that goes incomplete. So now you have a situation here with 4th and 1. It looks like they're going to bring in the field goal unit. Don't forget, their kicker earlier tonight missing a couple of extra points, Eric. And so if he makes this, the lead goes to 15. 26-yard attempt for Nick Diaz. So a couple of extra points and a field goal, and Nick Diaz, a bit of a rough night. 12-point lead and manageable for Wake Forest. 8:40 to go after the miss. Can the Demon Deacons keep their offense rolling? Find out next.
Brent Stover in New York, A&M leading Rice 14-0, but Dreyfus Jackson to Mario Hull. It's a 14-7 game. And by the way, USC trails BC by 10 mid-third. Back out to Matt, Eric, and Cass.
All right, thanks a lot, Brent. And the Aggies, well, they've dominated Rice 51-27-3 all-time in their 82nd meeting. Not a lot of people giving Rice much of a chance in that game tonight against A&M. Big chance here, though, for Wake Forest as they start on their own 20. And they're down by just 12 as they continue to cut into this Aggies lead into the flat. And good coverage that time defensively by Nick Vigil as the pass is incomplete.
Again, they're bringing a little bit of pressure up the middle. Nice job of the offensive line picking up inside pressure. That allows him to throw a nice ball down the sideline. Just needs to put it a little further outside, make it a catchable pass.
Nick Diaz, the numbers, and that is significant in a 12-point lead with just under 10 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. There's a chance. Wolford finds the receiver over the top. It's Serenier. Boy, has he had a big half as he brings it out to the 43-yard line before being taken down by Rashard Stewart. 21 yards on the play.
We'll see number 5 coming in here for the pressure. Again, they're picking that up and going away from it. Nice play. Nice way of sitting in there in the pocket, being patient, wait for your receiver to come open.
Wolford now, and he's taken down in a flag, and they're going to hold here against Wake.
There is a flag on the play.
Looks like maybe another injured Demon Deacon as well.
Personal foul, hands to the face, number 70 defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Travis Seafill on the penalty, and that's going to bring the ball across midfield. And again, an injured player, an injured Wake Forest player down on the field. I don't know if he got rolled on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the injured player, Josh Harris, a sophomore out of Milton, Georgia. That's suburban Atlanta.
Looked like he's walking off the field pretty good. Let the big boy take a breather. Maybe we'll see him back.
Yeah, the penalty too, Eric, brings the ball into Aggies territory. So a 1st and 10 from the Utah State 44. Boy, wouldn't this be something if Wake Forest can continue to pound away offensively after being down by 22 at half.
Play action, get your tight end involved. That's the way they've been doing it this second half.
Yeah, and Cam Serenier has been that guy, 85 in the black. In the flat, E.J. Scott with a grab, and that'll go for about 7.
Another nice throw.
Yep.
Yeah, another nice throw. But John Wolford.
E.J. Scott, too, is the transfer from Virginia. And he's set up here in the slot on 2nd and 4. Wolford again looking around. All sorts of time, and he'll just throw this one out of bounds. Incomplete. Filiaga that time with the heat.
Yeah, you got to be impressed right now about the offensive line and how they're protecting their quarterback. Lots of improvement from the very first half. Wolford probably could have stayed in there, didn't really need to flush it. There was no reason to flush out, just that he couldn't see a receiver open. Maybe that has to do with his, not being a 6'4", 6'5" guy. Get outside and find a lane.
Big 3rd and 4 here for Wake Forest. Pressure coming. Wolford. Unable to grab it was E.J. Scott. And that would have been short of a first down anyways. Rashard Stewart with the breakup.
Yeah, that's a long throw. That's a dangerous throw right there. As you're moving to the right, you've got tight coverage on a player, and you're trying to throw the ball all the way across the field. That is a very, very tough throw and dangerous throw.
4th and 4, and they're going for it. Why not? 8:23 remaining in the fourth quarter, and they're down by a dozen. Let's see what the young
Serenier right down here could be the target.
Let's see what the young quarterback can do. Gets the play away, and he's taken down. B.J. Larson. And the Aggies will take over on downs. And that right there, the biggest play of the ball game so far.
B.J. Larson just doing his thing with the bull rush. You'll see it from the outside. He's right here at the top of your screen. He just puts his arm down. Bull rushes right to the quarterback. Will Smith right there, 77. Didn't get dipped his head, didn't move his feet, and that's what allowed Larson to get to the outside quickly.
Now the local boy makes good. Logan High School in northern Utah. So taking over on downs is the Aggies. Hand off here and an end around as they look to break Rashard Hall. They got one or two. Tyler Harris, the takedown. And so no gain on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. And if you're Utah State, you want to burn some clock here with under 8 minutes remaining. Up by 12.
Definitely do. Talking to Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator, he just said this unit doesn't give up. They pay attention to details, and they're a tough crew. And we're seeing that not giving up mentality here in the fourth quarter.
Ball out of the backfield, and he comes up with it, but he stumbles for maybe a gain of 1. Rashard Hall that time being the featured back here so far, and again looking to burn clock as we're down to 7:22. Chucky Keaton now donning the crutches. Has not played here in the second half after pulling up lame.
That's
late.
Definitely not a good sign seeing Chucky Keaton on crutches. He limped a little bit against Tennessee, limped against Idaho State. Again here in his 3rd game. He's out for the whole entire second half and on crutches. You got to think that it's maybe more than preventative.
Opportunity here for Natson as he brings it back into the middle. And Joe Natson gets it close to a first down. Taken down by Ryan Janvier. 8-yard pickup and another injured player. It looks like Josh Banks of Wake Forest, the defensive tackle from Cary, North Carolina. And again, the Demon Deacons, they've had a few injured players here in the second half, and they are not deep at all. So a 12-point lead for Utah State. 6:38 to go. And the Demon Deacons need a stop here.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And by Verizon. Get NFL Mobile included with the More Everything plan, exclusively from Verizon.
Nighttime here in Logan, and that is the LDS Temple here, the oldest building in Logan. And it looks like Utah State here in front of their whiteout is going to go for it on 4th and 2. That guy going to need a lot of soap to get that paint off, right, Eric?
He's chipping away at it there.
Maybe he's sweating it out. So the ball is on the 44-yard line, 4th and 2. And the Aggies are going for it here with a 12-point lead. They're trying to draw him off. Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, is the Clock runs down the play clock.
5-yard penalty.
So it'll be a 5-yard penalty. Hey, don't forget the mighty Nebraska Cornhuskers to the Big Ten. Travel to California to face Fresno State and the Bulldogs of the Mountain West. You can join Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, and Jamie Erdahl next as Nebraska takes on Fresno State right here on CBS Sports Network. We'll talk a little more about that game after the punt. Fresno State, as a fair catch is made by Tyler Henderson. Well, Eric, you know, that's your alma mater, Nebraska, the Cornhuskers going on the road, and you firmly believe Amir Abdullah, their great running back, is a Heisman candidate. You won the Heisman at Nebraska. These numbers, like Amir's, eye-popping.
Well, I do believe that Amir has got a great opportunity to win the Heisman Trophy. He's one of the best backs in the country, and you know, had a great start.
Wait, hold on, wait. Well, you don't want to talk about your career stats?
No, none of that. That's not a big deal. We'll talk about Amir. He's the one that played in the game tonight, and you know, very exciting, dynamic running back, and you know, Nebraska couldn't be happier to have him part of that program.
Well, the very modest Eric Crouch Heisman Trophy winner up here in the booth as John Wolford now trying to go 87 yards and make this one a cliffhanger. Wolford flushed out of the pocket. And he just kind of throws it away as he gets smeared out of bounds. Taken down there by Devin Centers, and truly the biggest drive here of the game for Wake Forest and their freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and you're seeing a little bit of why they like him. He's, you know, he can buy time. He's a smart football player. He felt that pressure right there, was able to escape, but really didn't have much to throw to on the outside. But you see as he grows up a little bit what he's going to bring to the table for Wake Forest.
2nd and 10. John Wolford here tonight in the Rocky Mountains, really starting to mature as a quarterback in the ACC. And Wolford takes the heat again, and this one nearly picked off, broken up that time. 2 Aggie defenders in on the play, including Nick Vigil, and we've called his number a lot here tonight, number 41 for Utah State.
Well, that's a pretty good feel right there by Wolford in the pocket, because Vigil was coming like crazy from the outside, and he knew he had to get rid of that football, and did just in time to avoid a huge hit.
3rd and 10. Wolford back to pass. That one's broken up and batted away. B.J. Larson, the Logan, Utah native. Now he gets the wideout going as he raises his arms in a 4th and 10. And it looks like the Wake Forest Demon Deacons may punt it here. 5.5 to go. You're pinned in your own territory. I don't think you have much of a choice here.
No, I think it's the right decision, but you start to notice the experience of the defensive front really starting to wear down Wake Forest's offensive line, and really in the passing game, they're not able to get their bodies low and get their hands down, and you're seeing some of those repercussions here late in this game.
So the Deacons punted away. JoJo Natson, the lone player back. That one hit Merrill Knoll. And so it'll be marked at the 44-yard line. Again, coming up next, Nebraska from the Big Ten on the road at Fresno State. Kickoff at 10:40 Eastern. So stick around for the finish of this, and we'll lead you into that game with Carter Blackburn and Aaron Taylor out on the West Coast. That's going to be a good one. Boy, Fresno State's so tough at home down through the years. And Nebraska, who knows what to think about your alma mater these days, Eric. A good game, a cliffhanger at the end. Amir Abdullah bailing them out a week ago.
Nebraska's got a talented football team, but it's always a challenge for Nebraska to go play on the road, especially out in California.
Nowhere to go there. Rashawn Hall. Yeah, oh yeah. Tyler Harris that time in on the 10th. Well, I think we've learned a couple of things here for Wake Forest. Their interior defense is pretty good, and their offensive line tonight has done a nice job holding up in front of their freshman quarterback. It's a process for Wake Forest with the 3rd youngest team in FBS. It's been a process too for Daryl Garrettson, although he had 7 games of experience as a starter, and he's in there for Chucky Keaton, as he has been for the whole second half. end around here goes for maybe a yard or two. So that'll bring up 3rd and long with the clock showing 4:27.
Well, you always approach a game like you're going to win it, but I think with so many young players that Wake Forest has in the process.
Timeout, Wake Forest. They're first in the half. 30 seconds.
With a timeout.
Please set the game.
Yeah, they just, you know, they're a young group and they're learning their ways. They've got new coaching staff, you know, guys that are put in place. They're still learning about these players, and they are a coach-led team like we talked about before. And I tell you what a great opportunity for guys to come out here and just gain this experience.
Yeah, Dave Clausen, and a good look there, the head coach of Wake Forest. It's all about the process, and you know, whether they win or not, it's all about finishing strong here tonight. They're down by 12.
Well, I think they got to be happy with where they're finishing.
I think so,
this
too.
Game's not over by any means. I mean, they're only down by 12 points, and you think that there's still opportunity. They're happy with the way that they've played. Force the turnovers.
Yeah, and they go home and they face the Black Knights of the Hudson Army next week. Army is in Stanford this week. In fact, when we were talking to Dave Clausen and the coaches, they weren't so much worried about coming out to Logan for this game. They're wondering how the travel will affect them heading into that game against Army at home next week. But the flip side of that is Army has to travel all the way back from California, so maybe that's a little bit of a wash. But again, the process and finishing strong, and let's see if their defense can hold Utah State again here, as this one is handled by JoJo Natson, who took the direct snap there, and he gets a couple.
Well, nice job by the defense there, not just letting him get out and run wild like he pretty much has this whole entire game.
Another timeout here called by Wake, so they're down to 1 with 4:24 to go. 4th and 8 situation here, so Utah State will kick here, will punt. JoJo Natson, 48 yards rushing and 78 receiving. He's been very good tonight for the Aggies in dual threat role, so to speak.
He even got a trick play.
Yep. And he has been terrific here. Well, the wideout, and we mentioned this in our open tonight, they're the Aggies 1-1 in wideouts, and they're trying to bump that record here tonight. And what does this win, if they can hold on, what would it mean for Utah State?
Well, I think they do. They want to start the conference play strong. So this is a good indicator. Winning a football game, growing with their youth, and like Coach said in our meetings, you know, he mentioned that, you know, don't get too worked up about a win, don't get too worked up about a loss, but kind of stay medium. Stay medium. It's something that happens when you have experience.
Fair catch indicated, and so Wake Forest will start at the 14. Let's get an update back to New York and Brent Stover.
All right, Matt Rice and Texas A&M. Kenny Hill throwing darts again tonight. Josh Reynolds, 48 yards. Look at the move. Aggies, 7th ranked in the country, leading 21-7 over the Owls. Back out to you guys.
All right, thanks, Brent. Don't forget, stay up after that game between Nebraska and Fresno State for all the scores. Brent's staying up late. He's going to be working the coffee and tea. That is a live show. They will get you all the results from around the world of college football from the CBS Sports Network studios. Incomplete pass there, and so that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Jalen Davis on the break up there.
Second and 10.
So 2nd and 10 and 85 yards to go for Wake Forest.
I would be surprised if they take a shot downfield.
We talked about their tall wide receivers as maybe being an edge for head coach Dave Clausen. Wolford, and the pocket that time collapses, and he's down by Zach Vigil. So maybe we're starting to see a little bit of fatigue in that offensive front for Wake Forest, and they've been pretty good here in this game.
They certainly have. 99 B.J. Larson, 53 Zach Vigil. You know, he wants to go downfield, but he just doesn't have the time to. I think the offensive line right now is pretty worn out by these veteran defenders pushing him around here in this second half.
Playing at altitude, they're not used to that back home in North Carolina. B.J. Larson, his 3rd sack on that previous play. So Wolford now at his end zone. He's got a man semi-open that time in Scott, and it looks like we may get a flag on the play here.
Well, this would be a huge play.
E.J. Scott there was the intended receiver as a whole.
Holding, number 8 defense, 10-yard penalty and automatic first down.
That's a first down. 10 yards of the first down, and that comes on 3rd and 17. So a little breathing room right now for John Wolford, but the clock a huge factor with 3:27 to go. Don't forget, Wake Forest down to just 1 timeout. And that pass intended for Matt James goes incomplete.
Right, you can just see that they're just not on the same page when it comes to bringing blitzes and understanding what's going on from the outside. Again, it was Matt James out there who was trying to target, and Matt James didn't know they were bringing heat off the outside there. He just needs to look down inside and understand that there's 2 or 3 guys on the outside and just be alert that a blitz might be coming. Wasn't alert at all.
That will get better through experience. Wolford in just his 3rd college game trying to engineer a comeback here, down by 12, but just 3:23 remaining, and they're deep inside their own territory. Wolford now unloads, and he's got an open receiver, and that is caught by E.J. Scott. So the ball now out to the 35-yard line, and they move the chains, and Wake Forest trying to get up the field in a hurry.
You see Zach Vigil coming in strong, and then just a nice job of Wolford just moving the pocket, staying with it, understanding where his receiver is going to be. That was a nice throw and catch right there.
240 yards so far for Wolford, and just a little too high that time. Intended for Matt James, broken up by Daniel Gray.
Well, you see the arm strength right there of Wolford. He's standing on the opposite hash, delivers this ball all the way across the field. A little bit high, but a catchable football by any means.
3:06 in the 4th remaining. 2nd and 10. Just about every down or passing situation here when you're down by 12 and the clock not your friend. Wolford now looking around, trying to step up, and he is racked up that time by Devin Centers. So a 3rd and 10 at the 31.
A lot of pressure right now by Utah State. This time they jumped out of it. The Devin Centers coming in strong and not getting a very good block there by Jordan Garside.
Ball on the 31, 3rd and long. Chased out of the pocket is Wolford. He's going to let this one go, and over the receiver that time, and well defended by Rashard Stewart.
Well, you can just feel right now that defensive line, the linebackers, the pressure that Utah State is bringing is definitely getting to this offense, flushing him out of the pocket, hitting him. He's not able to set his feet, and creating some bad decisions and bad plays.
Todd Orlando, the defensive coordinator, bringing the heat on just about every play right now, and maybe a bit of a tired offensive front here for the Demon Deacons. 4th and 14. This could be a ball game. Wolford now, he's got time. Wolford, but he's taken down on the play and a fumble. Wake Forest will recover, but it won't matter. Devin Centers with a big play in the hit, but now a flag on the play, and hold on, is it roughing the passer? Well, this could be huge.
Offside, number 99 defense, lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Offside against Utah State. B.J. Larson evidently a little ahead of the line of scrimmage, and so we'll get one more down, and that'll bring it into a little bit of a more manageable 4th and long. 4th and 9. So sudden life here for this Wake Forest offense. Down by 12. The clock down to 2:16. First down or ball game. Wolford down, flushed out. Good coverage by the receivers. He's going to throw it downfield, and that's over the head of E.J. Scott. So Utah State will take over, and it's looking pretty good right now for the Aggies.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, nothing's on time. Everything's flushed out of the pocket. Guys aren't in the right place. There's just no rhythm to this offense right now, and that's one of the things they're going to have to get as they move through the season. Young team, find some rhythm, find some leaders right now. They just don't have that ability on their team at this point.
Let's go to Brent Stover in New York.
Yeah, guys, just underway out at Bulldog Stadium, Nebraska and Fresno State. The Huskers get the football first. They've moved the chains once, and a 3rd and 9 upcoming. Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, Jamie Erdahl standing by for the call when you guys are done.
All right, thanks, Brent. We will get you to Fresno immediately following tonight's game. It's pretty much over at this point as Utah State with a 12-point lead, and they'll just run out the clock. Wake Forest down to 1 timeout, but I got to say, I came away pretty impressed tonight with Wake Forest. They traveled across the country. Not a lot is expected this year out of the Demon Deacons, a very young team. We talked about the freshman center, the freshman quarterback, the freshman running back, and Isaiah Robinson. And if you're Utah State, you worry about the status of Chucky Keaton heading down the road into Mountain West play, but they get the win too. So I think both teams learn a lot here tonight in Logan. Up the middle there.
Really, Wake Forest was never out of this football game until right to the very end. So they have to be pretty happy with how this team played. They did not give up, played hard, gave it their all. They're just still working on the little things. Understanding the concepts, learning the playbook, understanding what this system is all about, understanding how the head coach wants to run his program. Those things will all start to fall into place. One thing that I'm impressed with is a story that we had yesterday from Kevin Wimpy, the offensive lineman for Utah State. Says after the game, they're not done.
No,
they're not done. They go back in and watch the game tape. They watch the film together as an offensive unit. That's a leader. He gets everybody in there. They get to watch their mistakes, get to watch the good things, get it off their mind, and then prepare for next week.
And they're going to do it in about 18 seconds. Okay, they'll hit the showers first, but then I guarantee you, like you said, yes, they will be in that tape room. Clock winds down, and that's going to do it. As both teams out to center field to exchange congratulations and hellos and goodbyes. That's it from Utah. Again, the final score, Utah State 36 and Wake Forest 24. Now let's send it out to California. It's Nebraska as they take on Fresno State. Enjoy the action, everyone.